All right, so we should be live right now. I'm just waiting for it to begin here. Yes. Okay, yes, we are live. Hi, everyone. I hope you're doing amazing. So today's live stream is going to be a bit different, where what I'm going to do is very ambitious, not very ambitious at the same time. But what I want to do is basically try to install. Let me get this here. Yeah. So what I want to do is basically install Codex on a Jetson or a Nano, and not on a model that's running by ChatGPT, but rather on a model that's running locally on my Jetson or a Nano. It's a small VLM. It's a 4 billion parameter model, which again is quantized, and I want to use Codex harnesses to make it work properly within the Qwen model. So let me share my screen here. Yeah, so this is my screen, and the robot that you see behind me, right, like this black box, is essentially the robot. And you would have seen this in my latest videos, but the main brain of this computer is a Jetson or a Nano, and that's what I've SSH'd into. So 1 second. So this is the Jetson or a Nano, and basically this is the VNC server which is running, and this is the GUI of the Jetson. And again, this is the SSH version of this. So if I just do host, okay, so it's not there, but wait, yeah. So if I were to go up, you could see that this is not my main computer, but rather this is the Jetson's computer, which I've SSH'd into. And what I'm going to try to do is that I'm going to install Codex into this thing without any. So right now, if I do Codex here, if I do Codex, okay. So you see that it runs on GPT 5.5, okay, which is great, right? Like it does a lot of tasks for me, and even I think they've released a lot of new models with it. But again, the issue is that we need to make sure that for a lot of sensitive things that we work with, I want to test if I could sort of use a local model on my Jetson or Nano. Now, there's obviously constraints to on the Jetson or Nano as well on what type of model I could install, which means that I couldn't install like a big model like GPT 5.5, not even close to that. But what I could do is that I could try to test as to how does it work, so that if I have like a bigger machine later on, I could install it very easily. And I believe there's good supporting documentation. Earlier, I also did the same, where I tried to install Codex on Qwen 3.5 and it worked. But one of the issues that I faced was that I had to downgrade the version from zero point 0.4, whatever the latest version is, to 0.82, which was like terrible. Not terrible, but like it was a very old version, and it just did not work with the latest versions. And I checked it online as well, and I was just not able to find a good enough solution for this thing. So in this stream, I'll try to see if there's a way where I could make the latest Codex model or the latest Codex version run with a local model like Qwen 3.5, and sort of document the entire process and learn it myself. Because again, as I told you before, that it did not work in the beginning when I did it. It only worked for the older versions of Codex. Now I want to see if I can make it work, because I did some Google searches and it looks like it is possible. And I'm also seeing a lot of people sort of using different type of models which are not OpenAI models on Codex itself. So that would be very interesting, and hopefully we will learn something new on this live stream itself. All right, so let's get started. Okay, so the first thing that we need to do is that let me start a new terminal and let Codex keep running here. And although I got a keyboard, I don't think I'll be able to use it that much because it's a bit weird to use it. So I'll just use my MacBook's keyboard. And let me just log into my Jetson again, SSH into that. So that is this my user ID, and let me just zoom it as well so that it's easily visible. And the IP address is 192.168.1.16, and it asks me for my password. I enter it, and then now we're inside the Jetson. So we could see it here, and if you just do a quick ls, you can see all the files as well. That's great. One of the files that you have here is the llama.cpp, right? So if you've ever heard of Olama, so Olama, it's kind of like the most popular most popular framework for you to start working with local models. And what olama actually works underneath is essentially just llama.cpp. So llama.cpp is the entire engine that runs the local inference of llms, even on which olama is built upon top of it. And I think I've used both of them, and I believe that llama.cpp, because it's c++ and doesn't have any overhead dependencies, although it's not as easy to use as olama, but it's a lot more faster, and especially on like a constrained device like a Jetson or a Nano, which is just 8 GB of RAM, and that is shared between the CPU, GPU, and even the LM inferencing. We have to be very strategic about what type of softwares do we use to run, because it would cause us unnecessary overhead, which we don't want. Okay, so that's why I'm using Llama.cpp as the main provider for me to sort of use the LLM model in this case. And inside the Llama.cpp, if I do ls again, you will see that what I have here is essentially a lot of build files, which is something. But the interesting thing here is the models. So if I go inside models, and you see the models that I have here, so now a lot of them are essentially just like versions of different of the same model, which we can ignore. But one of the models I have is a Gamma 4, which I did tested it before, and I also made a video about it. And the other one is this one, Qwen 3.5 4 billion Q4 quantization medium version model. So that is very interesting, because that's something that I need to use. And I could also show it to you as well. So in order for me to run this model on llama.cpp, what I could do is that I could come on /bin. I think that was it, or maybe like build. Yeah, /bin /llama. Yeah. So sorry. So /build /bin llama CLI, and then I have to select the model. So if I do .m, and if I do models, and then I select the model name. So in this case, that's Qwen. Okay, what was Qwen 3 point? Okay, so it's Qwen. The name is 4B. This is the model that I was talking about. No, this is a different model. So this is Qwen 3. I don't want Qwen 3. I want Qwen 3.5. So I will do Qwen 3.5, 4 billion, and I will do -Q4. So this is the exact model I'm talking about, and it's going to take some time to sort of like build it up. And it also could give us an error, because it's kind of running with default settings, and sometimes it doesn't sort of, it's not able to compile with, because it's an edge device as well, so it's not able to combine properly. So there were a few hyperparameters that I played with, and one of them worked very well. So that was in a different live stream. If this doesn't work, I'll have to pull up the live stream and see what was the exact hyperparameters I used, because that was through a lot of experimentation that I had to get to here as well. So let's give it a second. So it's loading the model here, as you can see. And this is sort of like the quick test that I'm doing right now. Okay, so it has loaded the model, and it has failed to load the model. And that was kind of expected, because it's kind of like a big model. But I also think that a few things are consuming the memory, and that's why it's coming out of memory as well. And this is also like a big enough model, in my opinion. So I think one of the other things, if this doesn't work that well, is that maybe let me just also do Qwen 3.5 2 billion parameter model and Q2 quantization. That would be even less of a size. So yeah, so the error is coming. Let me just confirm if the error is coming from memory itself. Yeah, so you can see CUDA malloc failed out of memory. So that was an issue. So in order for me to find this, let me go on my YouTube, because I did a live stream where I essentially was working with the same thing, and I was able to find the exact hyperparameters that it was working on. So let me just copy that, and if I go here, let me come to my channel, and let me go on live, and yeah, so I think this was the live stream where I was trying to do it. I could mute it, and they have an AI, right? So that becomes very helpful. At what point were the correct hyper parameters of the Qwen model were figured out when it was working the best? Okay, so it should be able to give us the timestamp where everything should be working well. Okay, so yeah, it was initially struggling, and I think it's here. Yeah. Yes, so fast. It's 14 tokens. So I think what I changed was just the batch size and the UB, and that actually led to changing it like from 4 tokens. So which will, let me go back a bit. Okay, so this is C4000. Yeah, it's the same. So what did I even try? I do hey hi now. Sign us to Y is open speed. Uh, so 2.9. So, yeah, slower promptly. No, I think this was not the exact time. Let me just go forward. Did I? I think because I experimented a lot. Here, but yeah, I mean similar here as well. What if I do 400 now? I think this will fail. Yeah, it works. Surprisingly, it works. Okay, so this is the one. Let me just see if I can copy it from here. Okay, so the context size NGL. Okay, so NGL was essentially the number of layers you want to offload. So NGL, and then -1 was essentially all the layers. So would that be a good idea? I don't know. Maybe let me just do 10 because it only has 10 layers. I mean, like 30 layers or something, but let me just do -1 and reasoning off. I mean, that shouldn't have an effect, but the batch size is something that was important. So batch 400 and then UB can be 150. Let's test this. I've not adjusted the context size here. Ideally, it's like, I mean, at max, it's like 270,000 tokens, but I think it should be better. Let me just also check if the live stream is working well properly as well or not. Played with it and one of them worked very well. So that was in a different live. Okay, so this one works properly, the live stream at least. Yeah, so this failed. Now let me just reduce the context size to 10,000, or let me just test with 4,000 to really see that. Okay, yeah, thanks for confirming. Yes. Okay, so this one also failed. Probably, I think it has to do something with this NGL parameter. So let me just make it to 10. So this NGL parameter means that the number of GPU layers you know offload. If I do 0 here, that means that if the entire model runs on the CPU. And I think this should hopefully work. This shouldn't have an issue. Yeah, this one works, but this is terribly slow. This one can't work at all. But one thing I've also seen, okay, now if I make it 5, would it still fail? Maybe I can try reducing the batch size. Yeah. So one thing I'm noticing is that, okay, now let me make it again to 10. Okay, code dumped. I see that. What if I make this to 256 and this one becomes 128? I think if it just gives me too much issues, then I will have to use another model, like a smaller model than this as well. So if I just do high here, so it has started thinking process. One thing I want to do is I want to turn off the reasoning, right? Reasoning. What is the command for that? Reasoning off in llama CPP. Reasoning off, right? So it's simple command that. So reasoning off, you can just turn that off. And yeah, so reducing the batch size worked. And let's see what is the token speed that we're getting with this. I think this is around 5 to 6. Yeah, this is around 5. And if you want to increase it, what we could do is that we could increase NGL then. Let me do it -1, which means maximum offloading to the GPU. No, it didn't work. So what if I reduce the batch size to 128 and then UV264? So context window is still 4000, which is not going to work obviously with Codex, but this also didn't work. Okay, so that means that NGL -1 will not work. So, but 10 was working, right? Are you running this locally or on a virtual machine? Neither, man. So I'm actually running this on a Jetson. So um, if you see, if you see the robot behind me, that is actually like a UGB rover. If you see my latest videos, I've like discussed more about that. But just to give you a crux, that runs on a Jetson or a Nano, and that's by Nvidia. So it has a built-in GPU. What I've done is that I've SSH'd into that sort of computer that's there, and it's a very small device, right? Like much like a Raspberry Pi, and it has like 8 GB of RAM. So it's a very small edge device, and that's where I'm running it. So I've SSH'd into that computer on my this thing, and uh, yeah, so even I have like the VNC setup as well. So I could also like if I want the GUI to be accessible, I could also do it from here. So this is essentially the display of the Jetson, just like streamed virtually on my device. And this is essentially like if you can see like all the same things here. So llama.cpp should also be here. So I mean, if I go on desktop, yeah, it's a bit weird. Not gonna lie, but yeah. But like I mean, you get the drill, right? Like this has a llama.cpp, so the same folders. Obviously, like this is much faster to do on the CLI, so that's what I'm doing. But I have access to do it on both of them. But I mean, it's pretty amazing that like a local model can run so well on like a small edge device. But again, like I'm also like trying it out here as well. So I think it wasn't failing that much, but like it's failing too much. So let me just also do one thing, right? I wanna search if what is the memory that's being I don't know what is the command for the memory consumed. I wanna see that because I believe I tried to run the Gamma 4 model on this and it worked and it seemed to work very well, which was an issue, right? Which is an issue now. So let me just ask Grok. And the reason I'm using Grok is because I have a X Premium subscription and this is the best model I can access. Um, just give me a second. I'll just come. So sorry, I'm back. Okay. Um, okay, so let me ask Grok here. I have a Jetson Orin Nano, and where where I'm trying to run a local LLM on Llama CPP, but it fails due to memory issues. It is. Let me just give it the exact model so that I can also search for this. And yeah, this is the one that's failing, right? Yeah, this is the last command. So this one fails. Uh, I need to know how can I check the memory usage. I have 8 GBs. I have 8 GB of unif of RAM. Um, check what is consuming what. Second thing I want to know. So this is also the error, right? Let me just copy this. Like if it's not possible to run within this, like if the model requires like a larger thing, then obviously like I'm fighting a wrong battle here. But if it's possible, then I will do my best to make it run. But yeah, so this is the main thing. And is it even possible to run this model properly? I actually did it in the past once, but I think there may be some background processes that are consuming the memory. How can I check that? Also verify that for me if this is the right model. So let's give this task to it. And okay, so the next thing I was actually like, meanwhile it's doing it. So Codex, if I just go on Codex, um, Codex, how to use a local model, right? How to use a local. So what it requires is kind of like an OpenAI compatible API. It doesn't matter if it's coming from an OpenAI model, but what it does need is that it has to have like some OpenAI model. But when I tested it last time in my stream, the issue was that it was not working. It worked for the older version, but it didn't work for the newer version. And the older version is very very old. It's 0.82 or 0.84, something like that. But like obviously like that comes with a lot less features, and it is a lot more buggy. And this version is a lot more better. So I want to make it work with the latest version, and I don't understand why that was happening. And the only solution I got was to like downgrade it. But let me see. Yeah, so everybody seems to be using Llama. Can I use it with Llama CPP? So I have this article is there by Unsloth, and Unsloth is what I'm using as the main model. But the issue is that they want to make me run some desktop app, which I don't know precisely. So Gemma 4, which use this, for instance, we use Unsloth Studios. So this is Open Codex's official coding agent that runs locally. While designed for Chat GPT, it also supports custom API endpoints, which makes it work for local LLMs. We'll point you to Unsloth V1 responses at the end when the studio is set up. Okay. So this is Codex. So when was this article released? Do they have a date? Because I could then like infer the version that it's running on. I don't know. Maybe it's not there, but yeah. Oh yeah, see this. Codex has changed quite a lot since January 26. It now uses OpenAI responses API exclusively, and the chat completions have also been deprecated. Unsloth Studio supports both, so we'll use write API responses through the guide. What does that mean? I think that was the issue, right? That was the issue that I was facing. So if there's a way to circumnavigate that, that would be great. So this is the API response type. So that means that if you're able to make, let me just close the external tabs because my system is kind of throttling. Let me just close this as well. I'll need, if I need it, I'll run it. Okay. Do have an additional window. Okay. So let me come here and yeah. So Grok closed. Let me just open Grok and then Codex with local models. Local model. I mean, even if it uses Olama, then it shouldn't be it shouldn't be any different as such. If it doesn't work, what I would like to do is I could also use Open Coder or something. I think that would be very interesting. Open Coder, Open Code, right? This one, yeah. This would also be pretty interesting because I think that it shouldn't have any issues. And I've heard of people saying that this is better than Codex sometimes as a harness. I don't know how true is that because I've never used it, but if that's true, then that's great. So it open with also providers. You can even connect your local models. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Yeah, if it doesn't work, then I'll sort of probably do this. And yeah, so these are the installation commands. And perfect. This is good. This is good. So the issue right now is that this probably is not working that well. Let me go on my history. I gave Codex a job. Yeah. Okay. So it's given us how to check it. It's absolutely possible that the Jetson Nano 8 GB unified memory already proved and running before. The models find the current failure is almost always the background pressure plus fragmentation on the shared 8 GB pool. Size, okay. Expected runtime footprint. On a clean Nano, it leaves headroom with a dirty system. Yeah, I think that's the issue. One of the things that I'm thinking is that, yeah, do I have this JTOP? I think I have JTOP. I can't access JTOP. Well, let me open VNC then. Hmm. If not, let me install this then. Okay. Why doesn't it work? In JTOP, look at the memory and GPU tab. It shows exactly how much of memory is used by the system and GPU. Okay. All right. So this is good. Let me just reduce the size of it a bit and let me get this up. Okay. So this is the total memory, the used memory, the free memory, the shared, and the cache, right? Yeah, I only have 1.8 GB. No wonder. No, wait. This is the memory free, and what is so? What is the difference between memory free and memory available? Let me just give this to it, and let me zoom this so that this is easily visible. Um, Help me understand. Okay. Here's a clear breakdown of what your memory actually means. Where even if it says 5.5 GB available, memory total, the total usage of usable RAM on 8 GB, completely unused pages right now, estimated memory that can be used by new apps, cache memory, mostly page caches, files that were recently read. This is reclaimable. Okay. Same as above, mostly clean cache files. Size of the contiguous memory. Okay, makes sense. So, I mean, yeah, it's storing cache by 3.76 GB. So even though memory available shows 5.5 GB, exactly the amount required by my model, NVMap cannot use just any free memory. On the Jetson, large allocations, model weights, CUDA buffers, and KV cache require physically contiguous memory that comes from CMA pool. Okay. The contiguous pool completely exhausted or fragmented. This is exactly what produced the error you saw. CMA free. CMA free is this, right? So what is CMA? Contiguous memory, right? Okay. So the system thinks that it has 5.5 GB free, but it cannot give you a big contiguous chunk. Allocation fails. Run these commands one by one. Drop the page cache. This almost frees up a lot and helps up with the CMA. Okay. So can I check what exactly is the cache? So can I check what is the cache before deleting it? Because I want to know exactly what is the process that it has cached. Maybe these are just pages or like some app and browsers. So it doesn't really matter that much, honestly. But like I just want to just see. Okay, easiest way to install VM Touch. Dropping it is safe, but let's see what's inside first. Okay, so let me just copy this, run this here. I think Llama or CPP would have like cached a few models. I'm definitely sure that's why it's consuming so much memory. I can't see like I don't have any other system processes that are running or maybe be that heavy to consume so much of memory. I mean, there was one course in my college, but I'm just interested. Is this stuff is yes, this topic Linux page cache is a fascinating to go deeper. Here's a carefully listed. Ah, okay, interesting. Take a look at the RAM optimization. So these are NVIDIA blogs only. Page caching tools. Interesting. Linux page cache explained. Interesting, man. I think I should probably, is there a way to save this? Export to PDF. Yeah, let me just do that. And let me see if this software got installed. Okay, it's still working. Where did it save it? Grok report. Okay. I mean, this is not bad though. This is so good. Um, loan Linux cache. Yep. So let me close this and come here. So let me also look at optimizing this. Yeah, I think maybe Docker could also be consuming something. Yeah. uh So none of the models are cached. That means, right? Resident pages. How much files the currently are sitting in the RAM that are cached? So none of the models are cached, which is interesting. Let me check the cache folder itself. This is a very interesting tool. Yeah, so 2 GBs of cache files, 35,000 files. Do I get to see what are the files that are there? This would take a lot of time. Let me just switch to another camera. No, that doesn't work. Okay. Hmm. All right. Dude, something like this command would only be written by an LLM. Has it analyzed? Do I? Oh, it did. Man, I don't even know. Let me just paste this. Yeah, so let's see where it is coming from. Llama CLI. Okay, fuck it. Let's just read it. Okay. Uh. Okay. Good. How can I cache? Okay. So let's now copy this command and paste it. Let's see what it does. And free h. Yes. Okay, but that's still not a lot. Memory available. Wait, I was actually using a different command before this. Yeah, this one. How is it any different from the last one? Okay, so memory total, this free memory available. Okay, so previously it was not available. Now it shows that it's available now. That's good. And the cache has also reduced, I believe. But CMA free is. Hey Niku, what's up? How's it going? Thanks for joining the stream. Okay. Yeah, so this has gotten better. Let's run the model again. All right. And I have this. So it was not working before. And I mean, this is a good command. Okay, let me do one thing. Okay, let me just also store this inside my, make an alias of this so that I could sort of run this again all the time, because I will not remember this. So for that, I will have to come to my bash rc file. So if I have to vim dot bash rc, yes. So I mean, you see the OpenAI key, that's not going to work, so that's okay. You can use it. I've like already. So I need to give it a name. The name would be check memory. Let's do check mem, and then the command is exactly this. And let me just do save wq. And if I do source, it should say, it should load the new bash rc. Yeah, the YC startup stream, man. It's actually insane. So I want to do it very soon. Maybe let me just complete a few things. Maybe let me do it over the weekend or Monday at max. But one interesting thing that happened, at least two YC founders have reached out to me on my LinkedIn. And this is not me reaching out. They actually reached out to me, and maybe from my YouTube, or I was actually going through the YC directory. And one of the guys, I starred his repo, and then he reached out to me, and then we kind of started talking about like different things on we can do on robotics. So it's pretty insane. And that's why I'm also even more motivated to do it properly. So I'm just trying to finish up a few things here, like few goals that I have. Let me just try to finish and wrap up everything, and that also includes actually making a video for the SO101 arm that I have lying with me, and I want to like make a proper video of that. And once I've done with all of that, I want to just like relax and just do it. Like that's going to be a chill stream. Like I think, yeah, I mean, it's going to be fun. We're going to look at everything. No, not for a job or something. It's just like they send me a message about the like maybe they would have watched my YouTube channel or something. So that's how they came to me. So I mean, it's pretty interesting, right? Like YouTube can reach people. So that's why. So it's pretty interesting. Yeah, surely, man. I mean, I will also like make a post about it on when I'm scheduling it, so that like it's not random like the streams that I do right now, so that more people can join it. But yeah, surely, man. I think like I want to do it as soon as possible. Like maybe before the next week. Yeah. Okay. So if I do, so I forgot the command. So it was check memory. So if I do check mem, not mem, right? So yeah, you see, I get the memory here. So I don't have to like properly like write the entire command. I've just aliased it, so it just works pretty well. Now next thing I want to do is I want to run the local model, and for that I have to go inside the llama folder, and then what I need to do is I need to run already have a command here, so I just have to get it up from there. Okay, so this is 4,000, and yeah, let me just see if this works because this one failed before. So if this works, that means we actually freed some memory, and it should probably be good. Okay, so you see the model has like I've now removed all the cache memory, so now it's taking a lot longer for it to load the model also, because I believe that internally it's also sort of cached the model, so it was faster for me to sort of like retrieve all the things. But now it's going to take some more time to build and do everything from scratch, and maybe like loading everything into the memory. Oh, it works. Okay, so let's see what is the please explain ROS to me. Yep, works pretty well. Works pretty well. So what is the context? 4.5. Now, if you want to increase it, right, like the best way to increase the context, uh, like the generation speed is I've found is I could maybe increase this. Let me see if I maximum offloading on the GPU. Let's see if that helps. Yeah, so this give an error. That's not very good. What if I just do 20 there? Okay, so that worked. Explain ROS. Oh, that's something else. But yeah, this increased the overall thing. What I'm interested in is increasing the context window. So I made it to 40,000. Let's see if it's able to handle this. Yeah, so this failed because it's too big probably. So let me just make it to 10 only. And I could also like play around with the batch size as well, but this also failed. I think maybe we'll just have to like load a smaller model. That's the only solution, I believe. Yeah, this is not working well. What if I just do NGL5? 64, right? Yeah, I can't go any lower than this though. Yeah, I mean it's still not bad, like, but it's not still not good. So, but I remember I was getting up to 15 tokens per second. Maybe like the last stream I did it. I mean, I don't know what magic I pulled off, but I was still able to make it work like with a lot of tokens. But I think the context was not that much. So I mean, I could still like hypothetically run it like 2,000 tokens with the maximum GPU offloading, and like I could increase the batch size as well to 56, and this could be like 128 as well. So I mean, they should probably get the speed. I don't know if it will load up properly, but let's see. Yeah, it fails. If I do 25, but I don't like playing around with this. No, like this is some. Yeah, this works. 7.1 tokens. Not very good. Not very bad. So see, CMA free again dropped down to 0. Even though I closed it, I think maybe the model got cached, and that's why it's also like quicker to load as well. And that's not an issue because it's obviously faster to run it, but memory free. So that's 1.8 GB, right? And what is the error that tells me? Allocating 2600. megabytes, right? So that's 2.6 GB, and what I have is 1.8 GB. So 1000 is, so 1882 megabits, right? So yeah, so it doesn't have the enough memory. So that's 2600 megabits. Where is it even going? So the total is this. So cached is this much. Okay. So let me just clear it again. So this was the command for me to clear it, or this was the command to clear it, right? Okay. Let me run the command, check memory. Yeah. So now you see from memory free from 1.8, it came to 5.6. Okay. So high. And what is the cache? Cache is around just 0.47 or 471 MB. It's like half a GB. And I have 5.6 GB of free memory that's available. So if I run the model again, why does it fail? So let me just do, so this one failed, right? Let me see which one failed. Let me run that. So this one failed, this didn't work. And if this works with this one, let me also see if I can find the, so if I go on Qwen 3.5 and unslot, so there's also a 2 billion parameter version. And if I just search for 2B, yeah, you see Qwen 3.5 2B, right? That is a very small language model. And even if I use a quantized version of this, it should be even lesser than that. So this is the F32 or BF16. This is like the max format that's there. And then there's like further compression that can be done using quantizations. Okay, so this is interesting. Fine-tuned version is 243 models, and quantizations are so many of them. Interesting. So this is the unslot version, and other people have also done that. Other people have also like made like their own versions of. So I've not used. So see, these are like fine-tuned versions of the Qwen model. So this is Marlin, a tiny VLM to extract structured information from videos. Interesting, man. This is good. This is actually good. I like Hugging Face, and the way that they've like, and the way they've like organized all the information. So you could see like all the quantized version of the models, the fine-tuned version of the models. I don't know what adapters are, and merges are, but like I'm sure it would be something pretty interesting. There's 242 models that are fine-tuned on top of Qwen 3.52 billion parameter model. See, OpenMed, Dreamfast, and they've like given it their own names. That's pretty interesting as well. So Jordan Wood. And I would be really interested to like fine tune a model myself. I'm sure it wouldn't be that hard. I mean, obviously understanding the models and like the science behind it would be a difficult, but yeah, you see this one failed, right? So this is not going to work properly. So let me just do the 2.2 billion parameter model, and let me go on files and version. And you see this is 1 GB, right? Like if I go on models and if I do ls, and this is the model that I've been using, so Qwen 3.5. So if I do lu minus h, which is for the space, right? No, what is the name? ls minus, wait, what is the command to find the space? Command to find the size of a file. Yeah, du minus h, sorry, yeah. So if I come here, if I do du minus h, Qwen 3.5, 4 billion, Q4, yeah, 4K. Okay, I think that means 4 GB. Dude, but you should. So if I do du minus h on the entire thing, on all the files, that's 4 KB, right? 4000. Oh, that is a pointer file, right? This is not the exact file. So it's pointing to some other file. The actual model is somewhere else. The actual model is actually inside the cache folder, which I don't know where it is exactly, but it is somewhere there. And this is just like a pointer file to it. But I mean, I'm sure. I mean, just to see that, I think that's around 4 GBs. Very not very big. Like it was big, but like for this one, it is. So I don't know exactly which one will work properly, but I don't want to compromise too much because it's already like a very small model. But is it also like a vision model as well? It also supports images, right? That's insane. Yeah, it also supports images as well. Okay, so you see this is Q4. That is kind of like the smallest model. And I was using the 4 billion Q4. Let me actually benchmark it, right? Let me just do Q4 and then Q8. Let me first run Q8. If this doesn't work properly, that means there's some issues. So maybe, yeah, Q8, right? This is the one. And how do I download this? Use this model, Llama CPP. So what I want is Q8, Q80, I guess, right? What is the exact name of this? Q80. This is around 2 GB. So 2 GB should work. Use this model, llama.cpp, built from pre-built binary. Okay. Do I have an unslot folder here? I don't, right? No, wait. So if I go on cd bin, if I go on cd build bin, if I do ls here, is there an unslot folder? No, there isn't. So where is it coming from? Oh, that HF means hugging face. Let me just do Q80. And what is the difference between all of them? Isn't it the same command? Yeah, it looks like the same command to me. Okay, so it's like, how do you build llama.cpp, right? Like I already have llama cpp built, so I don't need to build it again. So I just have to copy the command. That's it. So if I just copy it and I want to run the CLI version, yeah, this one, right? So if I go maybe ./build /bin .hf, it stands for hugging face, and then unslot slash the name of the model. Okay, let me remove this. They should download the model. Now the only thing that the only problem that that was there in the beginning, which is the fact that it kind of stored it in a very weird way, where it was not inside the main llama.cpp folder, but it was inside some cache folder, which I don't even know where it is, right? So that is a big issue when I was probably downloading it from there. So I don't know how can that get fixed, but let's see. Okay. Context length is this. That is pretty good actually. Like 262,000 tokens, almost like quarter million tokens. This is the chat template. Oh, so this is the metadata, right? Like everything that's there, and these are like also, oh, interesting. So these are all the tensors and like the different. You will also see the matrices of this. That's insane. Can I also look at the values? Ah, see this. So 2048 by 6144. So there's 23 layers. This one also failed, guys. Okay, so let me free the memory. Maybe I wouldn't have freed the memory from. Okay, check mem. This is very less. This is very less. Let me use the God Codex to help me here. Okay. Let me just give it the last couple of commands. I have been trying. I have cleaned it before and was able to get around 5.8 GB. Yeah, hi. So yeah, I'm an AI engineer. I'm an engineer. So I just recently graduated. Maybe so I'm working on this repo called as ROS MCP, and also working on robotics as well. But essentially, like, yeah, of course, intersection of robotics and AI is what I'm doing right now. But yeah, I mean, my degree was in CS and AI, so technically, like, I'm more knowledgeable about that domain. But still, I believe like a lot of learning is just like figuring things out. So that's what I'm doing here. What about you? Where do you what do you do? Okay, so let me just give this because I've been facing some issues with Codex not being able to, like, no, sorry, like this Llama failing all the time. Even I install a smaller model, it's not working. So there's some issues with the memory allocatment, which I need to figure out. And I will have less than, how much is it? 1.5 GB, right? So that's not pretty good. Less than, so 5.5. Please find what is consuming the cache or the memory. Um, how can I remove this? And string issues, yeah. So this is, let me just give it to this. Yes. Okay. Sorry for that. I was looking at your question. So, are you interested in deep learning, LLMs, or robotics? So essentially, all of them, to be honest. And right now, because I feel like they're also so much interconnected that you kind of have to know a good level of all of them in a way. So even what I'm doing right now, right, you see that all three of those things get involved, which is like I'm trying to work on agentic robotics, which means that can I use these harnesses like cloud code or like Codex to control maybe robots in the physical world. And that's sort of like domain of physical AI as well, but that's also like a lot more about doing VLAs. And if you see VLAs, that comes into your maybe deep learning and LLMs. So I mean, obviously, all these things, if I want to understand and do it, I have to be good at, or maybe at least understand all of them. And yeah, I mean, I think even on the robotic side, I've been like working on ROS a lot. So that's something, but there's still like a lot of things I need to learn on that domain. But I think all three things that you told about is something that it's very important to do. And all three frontiers are very important. And I also think that physical AI or robotics is going to see its run. And right now there isn't a lot of conversations happening about it. JEPA, yeah, of course. One of my friends actually have built a lot of world models. He was doing an internship, and we keep talking about that a lot. So there's also like this paper, right, VLA JEPA, that got very popular. And I think the idea behind that, although I've not, like, I don't know the JEPA architecture towards it, but like obviously it's like about just predicting the future states. So I think what they were trying to do is that basically the VLA models can just predict action tokens, but can you attach a JEPA architecture on top of it? Yeah, man, Jan LeCun, amazing guy. So yeah, I mean, I think those things are gonna be like real, man. But I also think that, like, uh, it kind of has to also, I mean, that's my opinion, obviously, but I feel like, although I've not looked at it that much, but there has to, like, there's it's going to take some time for it to become like industrial scale popular, or maybe like at least something that's usable, because it's kind of like very expensive to run, number one, and like, of course, it hasn't got into a level where you could actually like use it practically for useful purposes. It's still research, which is not an issue, but like still it's going to take some, like, maybe a year or something. But when it comes, I think it's going to be pretty game changer. Okay, so what is it saying? The main issue is not the Hugging Face disk cache itself, it's the CUDA allocation on the Jetson unified memory. The current RAM looks like memory free and memory available. Hugging Face cache on the disk is 13 GB. Yeah, so the thing is that this is actually like the cache memory, and what I'm running it is on a Jetson device. So I only have the terminal with me, and I don't think if the activity monitor will show me all those things. And although I could like use a VNC server, but that's also, I don't think that has that. So I have to figure it out on the terminal itself. And this is running some like Nvidia's own Linux version. So I think they have their own they have their own version of that terminal monitor. But yeah, I somehow also deleted the GUI because I was trying to set up some VNC server, and what happened as a result of that I couldn't, like, even if I connected to my monitor, it was just like just terminal. What are you trying? What are you using? You can try with. What are you using? You can try VLLM. So this is actually a VLLM. This is a small vision language action model, vision language model. This is Qwen 3.52 billion. So technically is also a vision model, and it also is a very small model. But the only issue is that the memory thing, like, I can't run anything below 1.5 GB. That's the issue. So I mean, it was working well, and I have 8 GBs of memory, and I'm not running anything extensive there, so it should probably work. That's why I'm just trying to fix here and find. The key problem in a failed run is this. Yeah, the VRAM is shared between this. CUDA needs a large available allocation, and if CMA free zero strongly suggests that the GPU NV map contiguous memory pool is exhausted or fragmented. Linux page cache may be reclaimable, but it does not always solve the CUDA NV map allocation failure. So try this first. So no projection. Okay. NGL 0. So I think this one works because you see NGL. So number of GPU layers is 0. So this should probably work, but it's very slow. So it's unusable almost if you don't use GPU. If you're on a GPU acceleration, then increase gradually. VLM is a high throughput, memory efficient inference and serving engine for large language models by utilizing page attention to manage KV cache memory. Interesting. I is is VLLM. So you mean VLLM? So that's a different thing than a vision. This one, right? So is that I'm using llama.cpp, and if you know Olama, the underlying engine behind Olama is also llama.cpp. So I'm not sure if they have built a new engine, or are they also using some sort of a similar like C++ library as a part of their engine. So yeah, I think this looks interesting though, promising as well. But the issue is that, yeah, it looks amazing, right? Like, so I think it can do all those things. The only thing is that if the memory issue still persists, I don't think even this can make it work, because right now it's kind of like any something is consuming all of my memory, and it's just not enough. It's just not there, right? Like, I can't run, and I don't think anything you can fit any practical model under 2 GB or like 1.5 GB. No, I'm not using Go so I'm using llama.cpp, and that's also like open source. So if you know llama cpp, I'm using that. Let me actually search. Yeah, I think even llama.cpp is pretty good, right? Like, in terms of, although I mean, obviously I'm not the best to comment here, but based on what I have found initially, was that llama.cpp was very lightweight in the first place, so it should consume less resources compared to like other things. But yeah, I mean, VLM also sort of looks good. Yeah, see, this is like more towards data centers, and I think llama.cpp, I believe, like, the reason that I chose that was, so like, working on like edge devices and personal computers, so in constrained devices. And this is also like the gguf format that I'm using, right? So that's the model format that I have. And the reason that I'm using gguf is because, again, like, I can't run the entire like full scale model as well, so that's why I have to like do the quantized model. And that this, like, because gguf was also developed by the guy who developed llama, so that's why it's kind of like the default choice for that. But I will definitely check out vlm. Okay, let me try this. Drop caches. That does not delete the models, it only drops the file caches. If CMF free stays to near zero, rebooting usually is the cleanest way to restore the contiguous GPU memory to delete downloaded model files from the disk. So would this free up the cache? So another question that I have for Codex is, when I use a .hf in, okay, they will not directly free the RAM unless those files are currently in the Linux page cache. If they are cleared in the RAM, the kernel can usually reclaim the memory automatically. The force drop file after deleting this. But the safer sequence is this. About HF, Llama CPP using Hugging Face cache layout by default. So when you run this, it downloads it here. This is intentional. HF means fetching from Hugging Face using the Hugging Face cache, not download into the Hugging Face download CPP repo. If you want the models under your Llama CPP folder, download them manually and then run them with .m-m. Okay, that makes sense. You can also move an already cached gguf file to here, then run it. Okay. I have another question that I want to ask it is, but this makes sense. So that means all the models which are stored in cache takes all the models and files which are stored in .cache are consuming my RAM. This means Linux is storing 4.4 GB as file cache, but much of it can be released when programs memory. The number of hmm. What is the difference between the available and the free memory? Do I want $100 free Codex credit? Yeah, sure, man. Why not? That would be great. So free memory is that's completely unused right now, and available memory that can be realistically given to a new programs without heavy swapping. It includes truly free RAM, reclaimable free cache, reclaimable buffers, some other memory that kernel can release when needed. So available is usually more important number. Okay, interesting. So only 1.5 GB is totally unused, but 5.7 GBs can be made available if the app needs it. Um, looks like llama.cpp. CPP can't use the Llama CPP can use normal available system memory for CPU side loading and inferences, but the failure is from CUDA backend. On the Jetson or in Nano, CUDA does not simply mean use all memory available. The GPU uses the shared physical RAM, but the allocations go through NVIDIA's driver, NVMap or CUDA memory module that can fail when the requested GPU buffer is too large, memory is fragmented, okay, contiguous CMA memory is exhausted, service is already resource reserve memory, file cache is reclaimable, but Linux doesn't want it quickly enough. Makes sense. So if CMA doesn't work, then it's not going to work. So don't use the Q80 first. Q8 model file is around 2 GB, but the runtime is memory. So let me do another model actually, and let me this time download it manually so that I don't face an issue with this. And what I'll do, I'll just install this file, use this model. What is the command line way of downloading this? So if I click on this, it just starts download, right? That's not what I want to do. I think there's a Hugging Face CLI, right? How to Hugging Face CLI. If I just do that, yeah, HF, right? So So if I just type HF, do I have HF here? I don't. So let me just install Hugging Face CLI. Okay. How do I download a model using HF? HF download, right? This is the one. And to download a file located in the subdirectory of a repo, you should provide the path of the file in the repo. Download an entire repository, download multiple files. And what is this? Where does it store it? Uh, Download to a local folder. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. The recommended default way is to download from the hub is to use the cache system. However, in some cases, you want to download the files and move with them to a specific folder. I don't know why Hugging Face is doing that. Maybe there's some reason, but I don't really understand why is it putting everything inside a cache system, because it's so difficult to access it after that. And I believe that's also like one of the reasons why my memory system is getting fucked up. A cache is created at the root of the directory containing the metadata about the downloaded files. This prevents re-downloading of the files if they are already up to date. If the metadata has changed when the new file is downloaded, this makes the local directory optimized for pulling only the latest changes. No, I don't want that. I just want one model which can run reliably. But how do I download it on? So HF download. So this is the model name and local directory, and then this is the name of the directory. Okay, so that makes sense. So if I just do HF now, it should come. Yes, it comes. So if you let me clear this and let me do HF download. Okay, and let me copy the name of the model here, which is here. And what I could do is I could come and use this model, and I could come on any of them, and I just have to copy this version, right? So it is the Q4. I mean, I can also do Q3 if I want to go like really ambitious, but let me just do Q4KM and copy this. Okay, and let me just paste it here, and I want to do local dir models. So that's where I want to store it. Repo ID must use alpha. Okay, so if I come here, what is the issue? It can't contain. Yeah, it has this, right? Okay, so probably the issue is that this is the format that won't work. I can't use a colon. What do I have to use to download this? What is the name of this file? Okay, yeah, this is the name of the file, right? So Q4KM. What is this? Ah, yeah, this download with HFCLI. Exactly. So this is what I'm looking for. So let me just copy this, and I have to do local dir, and then the folder is models. So let me store that there. Yes, finally it's started downloading. So 1.28 GB, that's exactly what I was looking for. Just click the copy button there and change it to your terminal. The issue is that this is yeah, I mean, I just did that, right? So I was also looking to download it in a specific folder. And this is also like SSH'd into like a This is sort of like a virtual machine. You can think about that. So okay, looks like it's done. And let me just do one thing. Let me just delete everything from the cache memory of the like. Let me just delete the Hugging Face folder entirely. I think that's causing some issues. Okay. Why is it taking some time? I have another terminal. So if I go on Llama folder, and if I go on the models folder now, do I see the 2 billion? I don't. 3.52 billion. Yeah, it's here. No. No. This is not metal. So this is actually a Jetson device. It is a NVIDIA's microcontroller, much like Raspberry Pi, and it has its own NVIDIA GPU. So that's what I'm using. I mean, I'm using a Mac, but this is I've SSH'd into my Jetson. That's running like, so you see that robot behind me. That's like that's the brain of that. So that's where I'm using it. Everything. So this is not my machine right now, which I'm working on. At least like the terminal is not my machine. Yeah. So it's here. This is the model that I'm looking forward to run. And what if I go here and run it now? So if I go /build/bin slash llama CLI, and if I do dash models, and then I can copy the name of the model here. Let's see. So this is a very small model. I've not cleared up the memory. Okay, this still failed. Huh. Buffer size of this. Okay, let me just clear this then. What was the command to clear it? This one, right? Let me clear the memory. And if I do check mem, so I have 6.2 GB available. Now, if I run this again, and let me also like do that as a alias as well, so that it's easy for me to use this again. Let me come here and let me do vim dot bash rc and alias so let me just do clear mem. Well, that's not going to matter, but it's okay. Yeah. All right, so it's dumped it. This is even a smaller model. Maybe let me just try with like reduce context size of 10,000. If that one would work better. Yeah, so this works. Yeah, so this is good, right? This is a nice speed. This is very good speed. Around 30 tokens per second. That is insane. That is insane. Like this is the fastest ever I have seen any model work on my machine. I'm not even joking. And what is the memory that I have? So let me just source this so that I have it. Explain ROS to me. like I am 5. So it's gonna do a lot of thinking tokens, but I mean it's so fast, man. Like this is faster than Codex, but of course it's a 2 billion parameter model. But if it works, man. Like the models are so good. Maybe like SLMs are good enough, I guess. So what I was interested in is checking the memory. So I do check mem. Okay, so now you see that, yeah. So CMA free is still there, and it has consumed maybe like memory available, right? So it's almost like 4 GBs have been consumed, but that's okay. Okay, let's close this. And in order for me, what I could do is there a way where I could like reduce the number of thinking tokens it has and maybe limits it? Like, because sometimes it just goes on and it doesn't stop. But the speed is insane. So that's just nice. So I'm running it on 10,000, right? What if I do on 60,000? Yeah, it still works. Uh, Dude, that's insane. So this is 60,000. Let's try to push it. Let's try to make 100,000. That's a million. Fuck. Yeah, it works. Hello, what can you do? I love this. This is amazing. What do you guys think about this? 31.3 tokens per second. That's not even like a lot of cloud models, to be honest. Okay, let's see. 150K. So 200. So the entire thing was not working. Of course, that's like a lot context windows. Yeah, it still works, man. Like, so this is good enough. And I mean, so then 200 should also work then. And I think it's working a lot better. So if I do check mem again, do I see a difference? Yeah, so the memory free is a lot more. I want to make my own SLMs. I want to make my own SLMs to experiment. I have own architecture theoretically, but it will work. But I want to compute. But I want compute to test it. It will work, but I want compute. But SLMs should work in limited compute, right? So I mean, ideally, you could also like test it on like some Google Colab and that as well. Yeah, so 200,000 doesn't work, but I mean that's very good, man. Like I think if you have your own ideas about making SLMs, that's insane. Because I mean, very recently I've also been trying to build a GPT model just to know the end-to-end process. Although like I know the attention model theoretically, but I feel like there's still a lot of gap when you know or understand something theoretically from where you actually coded. So I want to do that as well, where I build a GPT from scratch. Maybe if you look at the Andrew Karpathy video, that's very interesting. But yeah, man, like that's insane. If you can build your own SLM from scratch, yeah, that's gonna be pretty insane. So I think maybe like 100,000 tokens is good enough for me. And what I just need to do is, so this is working reliably well, I believe. So let me just run it again just to check everything's okay. So 100,000 tokens runs without a pain, right? It runs without sweat. And what I could also do to speed it up, in practical tasks, is I could switch off its reasoning token. The fuck. And also one thing, if I go on models, is there a vision model that it has downloaded? So yeah. Okay. Anyways, this is, I don't know. So maybe this MMJ projection is the model that's there for vision. What the fuck? Let me just close this. Do you work with PyTorch? I have worked with PyTorch before, like for training my like building my own models while I was doing my deep learning course in college. And I've like built a lot of models with that. Although, like, if you were to say that, like, have you built a PyTorch, like, if you build like a real LLM using PyTorch, no, that I've not done that. Like, I did follow the Andy Karpathy video, and that was like a while back, and I followed him, and I was able to train my own GPT. But that was obviously like just following a lot of commands, and I still feel like there's a lot of gaps. But yeah, I mean, I know the basic syntax of it, obviously, but still, like, that not at a very experienced level, to be honest, and that's something I want to also work on. I want to train it, but I have my own architecture pre-training from scratch. Yeah. So which so like, are you okay? It makes sense. So you're trying to say that, like, you have a model, or maybe like you're trying to fine tune a model on top of uh you have your architecture pre-training from scratch. Okay, makes sense. Yeah. But like, that's what I'm asking, right? Like, so what kind of compute do you need for that? Because if it's a SLM, then you should be able to, like, you could also rent a GPU, right? Like, it's also not very expensive. Like, maybe like a couple of dollars per hour, and I think you should be able to do it with like 1 or 2 hours as well. Like, just test it, like, if the approach works, and you could scale it then, right? Or even try Google Colab. How does that go? How does that work? I tried paper space. That was nice once. Uh, Although it's also difficult to get like GPU access, because like they ask so much information, like AWS and stuff. It's so difficult to create an account. Like, account gets created, but they just don't like activate it or some reason. So um okay, so this works. So at least one thing works out of this, where um and this works reasonably well. What I want to do now is essentially give it the OpenAI API, right? So that it can work well with my Codex. But so, and if it doesn't work well with Codex, what I'll do is I'll use open code after that. So I have tried to make it work with Codex, but I had to downgrade the version from the latest version to like maybe 0.84. So this is 0.142, which I'm running right now. And I had to downgrade it to 0.84 because they had some changes, which I don't understand what were the changes, but like, it wasn't working that well. So let me just do one thing where come on this blog article. Yeah, this one. So how to run local LLMs with OpenAI Codex, right? And let me just give this article to, because this is for the unsloth version model only, but I believe they're doing it a bit differently, where you kind of have to have like the unsloth studio, which I'm not sure if I want to install right now. Yeah, you see this I don't want this. So I just want it to run it on Llama itself. So I'll come on Grok. I think it's already here, but um, I want to use the Qwen model um, to my Codex, um, from my Llama CPP to Codex. I have tried using it and had to downgrade to 0.84 version or something. Um, can you find uh, look at this article? Also, I don't need to install the I have the model with me on my just need to make it work with Codex. Okay. Sorry, yeah. Own architecture, like on top of transformer, it has MTP, MHCP, MHC, and a looping block. I want to train it, and training a model from scratch takes a lot of compute, even to train like a 250 million parameter model. Interesting. And what kind of data are you using for you to train this model? I would like, I'm assuming because you don't, if you're training from scratch and you don't have any pre-training setup or data that you're working with. So, I mean, I'm sure you can download like a lot of data sets as well from online, but tell me like a bit more specification about what kind of data sets are you looking at for you to train it from scratch. And that would be very interesting. So, but I can guess, yeah, I mean, it would require a lot of compute. But I think it's kind of difficult to like get compute locally. So I think the only solution might be just to buy or maybe rent a few compute from this. Qwen 3.6 works well with Codex. It's better. I use it. It's better than 3.5. Which GPU do you have? So yeah, I mean, obviously, yeah. I also want to use Qwen 3.6. The issue is that I am using it on an edge device, which is the Jetson Orin Nano, and that just has a 8 GB total integrated system RAM. So obviously, like 27 billion is out of the question. I was even trying like 4 billion. It didn't work well. So now I'm actually using a 2 billion parameter model. Um, the only thing is that obviously it can't beat GPT 5.5 with anything. But the thing is that I have still certain workflows that could work well locally, and it's not very coding intensive. So I want to just see if it works well. But of course, I mean, I can totally guess that 3.6 would be way ahead of like doing that. So you're using Q4, but you can even go to Q1 for 27 billion. Like, what is the size of 27 billion? Let me check. I mean, right now the size of the model that I'm using, and it has started to show some results. It's almost like 1.2 GB. That's it. Like, it's a very small model. Um, Qwen 3.6 model Q1 has Unsloth released its versions. 3.6, sorry. Yeah, it's here, right? They have the 3-bit version, 15 GB. That's too big, man. Yeah, I mean, I could guess for sure. Do you I don't know, but like, is there a good way to compare? For example, if I use a 4 billion parameter or maybe 8 billion parameter model with like a lower quantization versus I use like the, maybe I use a 2 billion without any quantization. Maybe my question is that if two models could be of the same size, but one of them is a larger model but quantized version, but the other model might not be quantized but is a smaller parameter model, how does one compare the performance of both of these two models if they sort of are similar sizes? Pre-training data is all over the internet, common crawl, Axel, archive, GitHub, Wikipedia, and there's a lot of data here. Right, makes sense. Makes sense. So yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. I mean, I'm assuming like you would find a lot of data sets also for that as well, so you don't need to do it. Yes, some people have run the benchmarks. ChatGPT can help you find them. This is an excellent question, and you should go research on it. Yeah, man. I mean, yeah, because I feel like this is a very practical thing that I just faced today, because the 4 billion parameter wasn't working. 4 billion Q4 wasn't working, so I could have also done Q4 maybe like Q2, 4 billion Q2 too, but like I decided to do like maybe like a larger version or like a smaller 2 billion parameter model. But yeah, I mean, I think because I mean, just by looking at it, both of them looks well, right? Like the output you can't compare, but you kind of need some metrics to be able to know which one is better. I don't know if that's also something like a black box where you kind of have to just use like you have to rely on some external coding like benchmarks, because if you think about that, in a way, yeah, you're reducing the accuracy of the weights that's there, but does more parameters mean more inherent knowledge? I mean, in a way, yeah, that's true, but how much how much like, I think maybe like Unsloth would also like have run its own benchmark, so it would be worthwhile to see what are the results there. Okay, so what am I doing here? So I want to make it compatible with OpenAI, with Codex. So I've asked this LLM Grok to make it work. Okay, so let's see what does it give us. Okay, so models. Q4 quantization works great and seems to be the way to go. Below Q4 is less clear. Makes sense. Yeah. I think Q4 is also like one of the most popular ones, I believe. I don't know why. Like, because I would say most popular because I've seen some people installations and like that's what they use. So I think that maybe like Q4 is kind of like the most popular one. But I mean, obviously, like just having a quantifiable metric should be very good here. Do you know about Nan Beach 4.13 billion? It is better than Gamma 4B, and you can check it on Hugging Face in some benchmarks. It beats Qwen 3.5B due to its large pre-training corpus of 28 trillion tokens. I have never heard of Nan Beach 4.13B. So that's 13B, right? Who developed Nan Beach? I've never heard of Nan Beach. Thanks for bringing that up. It's a Chinese model. And when was this released? These are the benchmarks, right? Interesting. What are the difference? So this is the 3 billion version. The fuck? Let me translate this. Get in English. Huh. Yeah, sorry for that. Okay. What the fuck is this? This is something else. I will check out. Yeah, I don't know what website was that. But yeah, the sandwich looks promising, man. It's kind of also difficult to keep up because so many models are there. You kind of have to have an AI agent every day, sort of like scooping up all these different things, just comparing and just sending you the benchmarks. It's very important. Bench for NAND 4.1 is 30.5, but Bench is 77.2 for Qwen 3.6, 27 billion. That's a big difference. Yeah, but that's also 13 billion. What is the largest model that they've released? And like, isn't it you're comparing 27 billion with a 13 billion parameter model? So I mean, it's obviously, yeah, exactly. Okay. Okay. So what exactly are these things? So I'm able to run this and port UB. So I just have to have this Ginger hyperparameter on, and host is can be here. Yeah. So the issue is that it won't work because of this. See this Codex has changed quite a lot since 2026. It now uses OpenAI responses API. So let me just give this to it. Um, and there's also this, right? This link, OpenAI responses API. Um, check this. Also, I'm able to run up to 100,000 context with the defaults on Llama CPP. Okay. I think maybe Chinese guys are amazing, man. Like I think in terms of open source, it's insane. Like you could compare Nanbridge and even like Qwen. They've kind of made a name for themselves, for sure. Also, what is the context, like token generation speed that you guys get with the models that you're running locally, even with 27 billion as well? Because I assume that if you're getting anything above maybe like 15, then it's pretty much similar to cloud models and you could use it. But anything less than that is just sometimes too slow. But I like the discussion that's happening on the chat. It's like a model roast happening. Interesting. 256K. And I mean, if you're able to run this entire, yeah, Q8, that's what I was thinking, man. Like it's kind of like how are you running like the entire BF16 format on that? But like Q8 makes sense, yeah. Okay. So write API equals to responses. Chat completions is deprecated and will soon stop working. Here's that's why it was not working. Okay. No, but I don't want to use the downgraded version. Um, is flaky for agentic cooling. That's why official Unslot guide prefers going through the Unslot Studio even when you do already have the GGUF. So since you can already run 100K context with defaults with minimal extra stuff, option A, pure Llama server. Try this first. This is method Unslot officially recommends and what currently works the best. Okay. Unslot Studio, load your Qwen model and copy the API from this. Let me just try to run it like this. Let's see what does it do. So let me come here and let me run it. So build bin llama server. The model is models slash Qwen 3.5. Mine is a 2 billion one. And what I need to look at is, okay, so let's set the alias as well. So alias to be Qwen 3.54b. So that's not what I have, but alias Qwen uh, Qwen 3.52b. Okay. What else? So port can be 8001. Context can be 100,000. Cache type. I don't know about that. I'll not add this. Jinja. Okay, let me copy this and post is 0.0.0.0. Okay, let's run this. Yes, okay. So it works. Now we need to curl it and see if it works. There was a command, right, for that? Yeah. So I come on a new terminal. This is Codex. Let me stop it, clear it, and copy this. Okay, what is JQ? I don't know. Yeah. So Qwen 3.52b, right? It's there. Yeah, so basically it comes with the alias only. That is nice. And capabilities completion. So I don't know if that will work because see this. Okay. Let me go on. Let me clear this first. And let me go on my codex dot codex now. And there is a config.toml that I need to open. This one. Okay. And it almost has nothing here. But what I need to do is I need to add the folder here. This one. Okay. Let's check if it works. So this is not 4b. This is Qwen 3.52b. Let me just check the exact name. So how did I start as Qwen 3.5-2b. So Qwen 3.5-2b. That's okay. Okay. So write API responses, Llama CPP API key. Okay. Looks good. Let me just run Codex now. Okay. So that won't work, but I think I have to specify here the model. Yeah, this one, right? So local Qwen. Profile local Qwen. No, it's not working. Does Codex have documentation on how to use a different model? Okay, so this one was pretty recent. Let's see this Reddit thread. Yeah, see this. Llama CP running 3.5 because It's very particular about the responses API. Codex forces you to use a responses API. Chat completions is not available. And I don't know why, but Llama server simply cannot work with the responses API. Maybe it's me. I don't know. Same problem, but would be much nicer out of the box. Have you tried this? Let's see. Also tried with several models and it was a tragedy. Same problem. Desktop app is not open source. And it didn't work well for me. Failed dueling calls most of the times. Actually, instead of me breaking my brain over this, let me just download this open code. I think this one should have much better support over all these other things. Let me just install this because yeah, I'm just breaking my brain over this. Maybe Codex, because there's no point of me using like a older version of Codex also, right? Because this would anyways any day would be better. What is the Linux command for this? Desktop extension terminal, right? I mean, I already have the server running, so I just have to put that in configurations. That's it. And this is again the latest version, so should be the best of both worlds. Yeah, Drone256. If you're still there, let me know how are you using your Codex CLI with the local model. Like, did you face the same issue? Like, are you using Olama? Are you using Llama CPP? Because man, it's kind of like I'm breaking my brain on this. I don't think it's gonna work so well. Like, I could try it more, but I don't know. I the local one, like the older one, works very well. It's like almost works flawlessly. But that's also a very old version, so it's not very good as well. So I believe like the newer versions obviously would have been a better harness. Okay, okay. So open code is here. Successfully added path here as well. That's good. So where is the open code? Just do open code. Let's see what comes up. I'll have to source my bash RC file first. Okay. And if I do open code, this is the first time using it. I've never used open code before. Okay. Good. See this. So switch model. Oh, insane. This has like all the models that you need. Local. How do I select a local model? Open code Zen. These are OpenAI models. Okay. Let's see. Incorrect API key. Yeah. Uh, okay. Close this. What the fuck? So is there a dot open code folder as well? Yes, there is. So I don't know how to. So let's go on docs and config. So I want to connect my local model on it. I want to see how can I do that. So I go on models, provider, select a model. Yeah. Hi, welcome to the stream. So, yeah, man, Codex sometimes can. I think maybe Claude Code sometimes. Honestly, I stopped using Claude Code, but that because that was running out of that was running off usage so quickly. But in my opinion, Codex was still like at least the paid version was like $20 version was still better than the CC version of $20, and that was like at least able to do some tasks. But yeah, I mean, it can run out very fast. I mean, if you use like the better models as well. But just to give you a quick summary, what I'm trying to do here is that is I have a local model running on my machine. That's a Jetson or a Nano, and I have a SHS. So that's actually, if you see the robot behind me, it has a Jetson device that is essentially like a microcontroller with a GPU strapped on top of it by NVIDIA. And I'm trying. It's a very small edge device, which means that it's not a very powerful device, but it still has a GPU. So I've installed a local model, Qwen 3.5. That's a 2 billion parameter model. I'm trying to use a harness. I was trying to use Codex, but not with OpenAI's model, but with like my own local model that's running on my computer. So this is, if you see, it's running GPT 5.5. I was trying to make it work on a local model, but using the OpenAI's harness, so that would sort of perform better results. But I mean, I started to face some issues with how it was like how OpenAI like I think it's kind of getting restrictive in terms of OpenAI not allowing local models to run that well. And I think I was also looking at some Reddit threads as well, right? So it's, you see that people have tried it out and it's not working. So that's why I'm using this open source harness, which is called as Open Code, and I'm trying to make an open model, like a model that's running locally, work with it. That's what the goal is today. So where is the local model? Loading models. Let me just come on. Um, just ask Grok only. And this is the local model that's running, the local model server. Yeah, that was a quick summary indeed. Yeah, I hope, yeah, I mean, it's pretty interesting. And I'm also learning along the way as well. So you see a lot of me figuring out. It's not me just doing it, but it's also me figuring it out as well, pretty much here. Okay. So what I need to do, I need the server has started. I need to use this with open code as the main model. These give me instructions. Look at the docs for the latest versions. Instructions. Okay. What do you guys think is the best provider for like these type of questions where you kind of have to search something up quickly and retrieve something? Like I'm using Grok because that's the only one I have right now. Like my OpenAI expired, but I have Grok with me, so I was just using it. All right. So the server is running. We just have to make sure that we put the configuration file. Yeah. So I mean, honestly, yeah, it's been a pain, man. Like, it's how much? It's almost 2 hours, right? Like I've been trying to work out some models. It was like just failing, crashing, just giving me code errors, and then I just like I think this one is working, which is like this 2 billion parameter model, and we tested it as well. So it was giving me a token speed of around 30 tokens per second, and I could show it to you as well. But it was like pretty good. Like it was pretty fast. Like 30 tokens per second is pretty. It's better than cloud models as well. So I mean, it works, but of course, like it's a 2 billion model quantized as well. So like you can't compare it with any sort of state of the art model, even from any as close as it gets. But yeah, okay. But it still works. It still works. So it should be able to do basic tasks, right? Like so that's what my goal is, right? Like if it can do like some basic tasks, I'm good enough, man. Like I think I tested with a few questions. It was working very well. Okay, your server is connected with this. So I already have this now. So I need to make this configuration file. So that's the thing, right? Like, will the configuration come in .config or .open code? You can place the config in a couple of different locations and they have a different order of precedence. Configuration files are merged together, not replaced. Settings are merged together, they're not replaced. Settings from following location are combined. Later config files are overridden earlier. Okay, so what is a file? Global configuration file. Okay, so what if I just put the configuration file inside the .open code? Do I have a .config folder? I don't even know if I have that. Okay, I have it. I have something like that. Oh, insane. Didn't knew that existed. So that contains all the configurations then. So I need to make a file here, which is open code. So let me do that. Let me just do mkdir open code. File exists. Okay. I can come here and open code.json. Is it there? Yeah, it's there. No, it's JSON C. What is the difference between JSON and JSON C? Let's look at this. Schema config.json. Let me just make a new file only. Open code.json and paste this thing here. So this is the schema, and yeah, so this is the schema. I need to paste this here, and yeah, so everything's here. So we can call this to check. JQ command not found. So what is JQ? What is installation? Yes. So sudo apt install JQ. I believe it just makes it easier for me to look at these type of files, I believe. Oh, that was a big file. Yeah, I think it's running, so that should be an issue. So force the model. Okay, so let me just run it without the model specification. So if I come here, this is the server that's running. Wait, what is this? Let me close Codex here. Clear this, and if I just do open code, let's see what comes up. Oh, I've not sourced this terminal. SOURCE dot slash dot slash bash rc. Okay, let me do open code again. Okay, it works. Yes, you see Qwen 3.5 working locally. That's great. So, hey, hi, what can you do? So let's see. And this is again a thinking based. So I need to switch off the thinking. Probably that would give me like a faster result. But yeah, man, it's working. So I could also see, yes, see this. It's working so well. It's working so well. Okay, let's ask it something, right? Like, can you create a okay, let's create a game. Okay, let's create a Python. Let's create a simple and let me create a new session so it can start afresh. Let me start a new session. Okay, and I want to create a Python game. Okay, so this is going to be very fun. So create a Python game which can be run on CLI um, essentially a number guessing game where I give a range, the computer selects a number, selects a number from that range, and then I need to guess it. I get like I get like 5 to 10 tries. I get 5 to 10 tries based on how big the range is. Think about that logic. Think about that logic. And if I don't guess it correctly, you should tell me to go lower or higher. Okay. Um, make this in a folder in my desktop with game.py and main.py as separate files. Let's see how does it do it. So now this is using a harness in theory should be different from just using like a normal Qwen 3.5 running locally. And why that's the case is because it should be able to write to dos. It should also be able to access all my terminal and do things like create files, create folders, and read files. So it has all these other tools as well. And ideally, it should give me a better output with the same model. Just if I'm using like something like this as a harness. So that's the main purpose of it. Let's see how does it perform. So obviously we don't see anything right now because it's using its thinking tokens right now, but we should be able to see something here if it has not already sort of crashed or stopped. Okay, yeah, it's doing something. Yes, it has created the file. And look at the speed, man. Like, this is insane. And it's done. Maybe inside a minute. So that's crazy. So let me just check it and let me come on my desktop. Do I see the file here? Where's the file? Games, yes. So let's come on games. The heck? Where is it? Okay, so game.py and main.py is there. What do I need to run? Game.py, right? So let me just check that. Oh, oh no, I'm in the wrong folder. Sorry. Oh, it's started. Let's go. Okay. 50. Enter a minimum value 1. Okay, sorry. Min. Enter your guessing game. Attempts allowed 10. That's insane. So 25. Hey, what the fuck? Fine gave me a hint if it's wrong. I don't know, maybe like 10. Dude, this is some bullshit. It's not giving me the. It's not giving me the. See, that's the issue, right? Like, it didn't give me the hint. Let me just give it to this. Um, it did not provide me the hint if I was higher or lower. Yeah, game logic issues, and that's like probably the intelligence issue as well because it's also like just 2 billion parameter. Um, the game is working. It's detecting the range issue, is giving feedback. The issue is with your terminal input. You typed 1 twice, which created an empty string instead of a valid number. Okay, let me run it again then. Okay, let me do 50 and then 1. Okay, so 30. No, it's not providing me with anything, right? Like you see, 25, 1. It's not providing me. So that's something that with like you can see right with a small model is that you will face these kind of like dumb issues. Um, no, it did ask for. Oh fuck! Oh yeah, that's my bad. Only I read it wrongly. So the minimum value is 1, maximum value is 50. It's fair to 25. No, it still doesn't provide me. See, it doesn't provide me. Um, fix that doesn't work. Doesn't work. But it is not providing me the hint if. Yeah, so now it's editing it finally. But you see one thing, it used the thinking tokens only in the beginning, and it's not using thinking tokens anytime after that. Yeah, so now it's using the hint, right? Like try, you can see that here. Yeah, this is good, man. Like it's able to edit like multiple files as well. I mean, obviously, it didn't follow the commands as well as it's supposed to be, but it did the job, I believe. Like, so if I run it again, so 1 and 100, let me do 30 or maybe like 50. It still doesn't come. What the fuck? Maybe I'm running the wrong file. I don't know. Uh, no, so feedback, that's correct. Hint try lower. No, so I need a hint every time I give. I am not able to guess, and also the number of tries that I have with me remaining. Man, I can't imagine just giving like a high level task to this. If it's not able to do this thing, it's gonna be not good at coding then. So attempts allowed this, so 30. Nah, it's not working. Yeah, it's not working. It's not working. Has it even made a change to the game? Okay. If max attempts equals to 10, if max attempts is equal to less than 5, okay. Maybe I didn't prompt it correctly. Let me just do it again because let me just give the benefit of doubt here. Okay. make a simple number guessing make a simple number guessing game on Python, which can be stored on my desktop as number guess.py. Um, the user provide um, the user gets 10 tries to guess a number from 1 to 100. Um, if the user gave if the user guessed it correctly, then stop the program giving a success message. If not, then tell him if he is if his guess is higher or lower than the actual guess. Use the random function to select the number that will be hidden. I shouldn't have to specify as much as I did here, honestly, because which is a great example to show that we do need a big ass GPU that we can run bigger and better models to do something useful. Yeah, man, totally see this. Like, I shouldn't have to specify so much, because I was just thinking when I'm writing this that I could write code only, right? Like, why am I giving it? Why I'm giving a model to do so specific things? Like, I'm wanting the model to think and like not think for behalf of me, but at least like figure out those small things as well. But let's look at the code that it has written. Yeah, this is a much more simpler code, and it is selecting a number maximum tries, and yeah, so if there's an error, number between this, continue, break, if the guess is less than number. Okay, so now in this case it should work, right? So this is a very simple code. So in this case it should work, right? So if I do ls, let's see where the file is. Dude, where did it saved? Don't make me, where did it save? Number guess.py. I don't find it. I told it on my desktop, right? I did a, where is it stored? Yeah, so see this, right? Like, it stored it somewhere on the default path, but I had specifically told it, the fuck, I specifically told it, like, why is it? Yeah, to store it on my desktop. But I mean, I made a mistake, right? Like, I didn't I had a spelling mistake. No, store it on my desktop. What the fuck? I wanted to. Can you move it for me? No, move this. The fuck? Move this file to my desktop folder. Dude, what the fuck? Do it for me, man. Why are you telling me? And you can run it from there to put it on your desktop, copy it from. Yeah, that's what I want you to do. Yeah, that's what. Okay, did it move it? Finally? Yes, finally, guys. It's just I was thinking to make it all the files organized inside my folder. Like, it's just gonna tell me to do it by myself, bro. This became my mom. What the fuck? That's insane. Okay, let's run this. Python. This is so funny. Number guess.py. Okay. Welcome to number guessing game. Remember 1 in 100. Try 1 of 10. Okay, yeah. So this is basically the number of tries. So I'm gonna guess, of course, 50. Okay, it's lower. Okay, 25. Lower. Okay, let me go maybe like 12. It's lower. Dude, is it even there? It's what the fuck? It's not working. The code is wrong. How can it be so bad? What is the code? If the guess is less than yeah, so it didn't account for the else if condition. No wait. Um where's the error in the code? Oh, okay, fuck. Yeah, you're right. Okay. So 50. Your guess is lower than the numbers. I have to go higher, right? Yeah, makes sense. Your guess is higher. Yeah, so this makes sense. Um okay. Guess is lower than the numbers. I have to go higher. So what if I do 70? Okay, so 67. It is higher, so 66, right? Yes. Finally made it there. Let's run this again. Okay. 50 lower. Okay. Let me just do 66 lower. So it's not the same. That's good. It's lower than the numbers. What if I do 75? Lower. 80. 95. 90. So 85 then? Yes. Makes sense. This works, guys. This works. Um, okay. This is pretty fun. This is pretty good. And this was much easier than getting. I mean, this is not a hardness issue, also. I mean, it could be a hardness issue as well because let me just think of some other task. Let me ask this. So, which I can test with 2 billion Qwen 3.5. That for that it needs to use. It needs to. So I need a task that is multiple steps and uses the CLI to either read and write files and something. So yeah, because otherwise I could just use it like that, right? Like why do I need to go through the pain of installing like a open code harness to be able to with a model, right? Like if it can do like this task could be done by like the model by itself, so it doesn't need open code for this. So I mean, what I'm interested in it to see is that something that would be difficult to do from the model directly, but the harness should help here. Make sure that the prompt contains checks for early stopping, even and verifying if the task is done. Give me like 3 to 4 good prompts or examples for this. Sorry, I missed your chat. Yeah, thanks for joining, man. I'll start saving for 5090 then. Yeah, totally. But I think, but I also think that, Yeah, I think having GPUs would be great, but you could also use like cloud models, for example. Like I'm not particularly against cloud models, but let's see. But yeah, I mean, I'm particularly not against cloud models, but I also think that it's important to open source to catch up as well. But if you're able to make it work, because again, the issue is that like if you use it on your GPU and if that's the main computer, then it would also consume a lot of resources, which might slow your other tasks that you're doing. So I mean, if you're able to make it work, that's great, because I don't have a 5090 to check how well it does it. But like obviously, like that's also like great feeling when you can like run everything locally unlimited times. But it also has to do the task for you as well at some time. But I mean, if you have a very specific task that you can automate, for example, like if there's OpenClaw instance that you're running or Hormesis agent instance that you're running, I mean that's great. Then use local models for sure. If it's like coding intensive tasks, then you have to have like a good model with yourself. Okay. Um, Create a simple Python to do CLI app that does the following. Okay. Yeah. So this looks good. Let me just give this to it, and let me start a new session and paste this. Um. Okay. Let it save anywhere. I'm just thinking. I was thinking to specify it, but that's fine. This also has like, if you see, verify that the new task appears in the JSON as it was updated correctly. Yeah. So it has written the file for us. Yeah. That's good. Okay. Yeah. So it's gotten some errors. The name main is not defined. Do you mean min? The heck? So it has to fix that error now. Okay. Yeah. See this, like such a long context thing or long horizon thing wouldn't be possible if I was just using the CLI version of Llama. Like it would just like do one and it mean give me the Python file at max, but it wouldn't be able to test it. But like again at the same time, it's just coming into some basic issues. Did you mean min? It's trying to resolve it, but it's facing issues. But so let's see how much it can go. Okay. Yes, it has worked. Yeah, it has also verified it. That's amazing. That's crazy. So where is that stored? Okay, let me just go here and go to my root. Oh no, that was not this. So if I go ls here, yeah, to do app, right? So that's the one. It created 3 files. That's good. So let's see what exactly is inside the to dos.json. Uh, yeah, it's there. So that's good. Let me see how to use it. So Python to do. So if I do Python to do app, Python to do.py, and if I do list, right? So I should see done and done false. Okay, so that's good. How do I update it? So to do.app. Uh, so I could add uh, build GPT from scratch. Okay, let's give it this. And if I do the list again, yeah, it comes. So how do I update it now? Let's ask it, right? So I have completed one task. How do I change it from true to false? Okay. Okay, that's good. Python to do done one. Okay. Python to do done one. So if I do the list again, yeah, it comes true. So if I do done three, so it gave me an error. Hmm. Yeah, so it didn't create the ID probably, or maybe it did create the ID, but it was two. So I do the list. So the new task that I created, it didn't create the ID for that, which is okay, but like still a small bug. So if I can, how do you find the ID of my task? Okay, so if I do cat to dos.json, yeah. So see, I created new. So that's something in the logic that's an issue. So I'm not going to tell it to. I'm not going to tell it like what the issue is. I wanted to figure it out. Okay, so let me just see. Can you find an error um, with my runs on your code? If yes, please fix it as well. So I'm not. The error is on done three. You need to provide a valid task ID. Okay. So there's no task with task ID three. Why was it not automatically provided? Yeah, but when I created a new task, then it should have assigned. Or how do I assign it myself? To assign a specific ID to a new task, you need to manually edit the JSON file. Fuck, I can't edit manually. That's bad design. I don't want to edit manual. Edit the JSON. Can you make it do? Can you make it do itself? That is when I create a new job, create a new task, it automatically assigns the next available ID. It assigns the next available ID to that new task. Okay. I forgot to give it the task to verify it as well. But let's see. Let's see if it does a good job with it. Like so far I'm very impressed with it. Like you can say that it's not up to the mark and it's failing at even like simple coding tasks as well, but you got to understand this is a 2 billion parameter model, and like for you to do anything meaningful, I believe, like even the models that we use right now, GPT 5.5, I don't know how many trillions of parameter that model is, right? So we probably have gotten used to that, but this is a 2 billion parameter model. This is probably not meant for it to do coding tasks, and that's what I realize now, because I've not this is the first time I'm using such a model. But also it's able to code. That's not the issue. It's able to code. It knows the syntax at least. The issue is that it just doesn't have a good logic ability, I believe. Like so it's not trained on such massive data then, or maybe it's like extremely shrinked out. So but I think the harness is doing a good job for it to code, because just imagine making it do it from a chat interface, giving it back to back. Like that wouldn't have been possible. Like you would have gone mad. I'm already going mad, but just imagine if you were to do all this manually, like it wouldn't work. So like the harness sort of like just gets it in a loop, and it just keeps on doing it until it completes the task. And at least the speed is amazing, right? Like look at the speed. Although how dumb the model is, it's running locally, it's free. It's trying to do the job at least. Yeah, it's been going for a lot, and you see, it's consumed only 17% of the tokens and 17.3K tokens. We initialized it with 100K tokens, so we can like easily go, like we don't have to worry about the tokens, the context window getting shrunk up, right? So that's good. But yeah, it's going on. It's still like trying to verify if everything's done. What is it even doing? I'm not even following what is it doing. So are there any good companies that work on like small VLMs? Benchmarks for SLMs on coding tasks. Live bench. Let's look at this. Okay. All organizations. Dude, Grok is at the bottom, and Qwen 3.6 also seems at the bottom. GBD 5.6 sold. 3.5 is not there. They removed it. But this is not the one that I'm looking for. Qwen 3.5. How do I find the older models? This work is sponsored by Abacus AI. Have you guys heard of Abacus AI? I've never heard of it, but I've heard of Live Bench. Interesting. No, that's not what I'm looking for. I want to see if there's. Let's see if this did the task. It's still going on. Dude, that was a simple ass task that I gave you. I'm sure it's gotten stuck into some loop, and it's going to go until its context window runs out. Right now, it's already consumed like 15% of my context window from where when it began. str object does not support an item assignment. Yeah, it's not able to resolve this error. Are there some? What are the modes that it has? Compact, connect, copy, debug, diff, editor, exit, export, fork, init, MCPs, switch models, move, new session, rename, review, share, skills, status, theme, expand thinking. Yeah, let's try that. Am I using thinking or am I not using thinking? I think I'm not using thinking. Oh wait, I'm actually using thinking as well. Maybe I have to use expand thinking the next time. Yeah, this is not working. Right. Okay, let's just keep it running. But so the other thing I want to do was I wanted to install some MCPs on this because that was pretty interesting. Let it do the task because why not? It's running for free. I want to install a few MCPs on my open code. So how can I do that? So I have this ROS MCP. You guys must know about this. So if I come on ROS MCP, yeah, this one, right? So this is something I have also been working on as well, and it has almost like 1.3k stars. I'm also one of the core contributors amongst others. So what it does is that you could connect your real robots with the LLM protocol, and the idea behind using a harness versus sort of just using like a normal LLM running out like just a simple input and output LLM based CLI is that it could like probably think and break down an action and then do it. So it also means that it would be able to do the task much better, and I could define like a higher level task as well. So I want to install this, and what I could come and I believe it should have a configuration file, or maybe I could just come here in the documentation. I should see it then. There should be an MCP. Yeah, MCP servers, right? So these are MCP servers and opencode.json c. Yeah, so this is what I need to copy. Uh, yeah. So I can come on the cd dash slash config, and I should have open code here. And if I do ls, I have the opencode.json rc. So if I go opencode.json c, yeah, it has almost nothing here. I need to add the MCP here as well. I mean, ideally, I should just give a model to do it and figure it by itself, but that's okay. Um, the fuck. Okay. Name of the MCP server. So let's remove this. Oh. Okay, let's remove the extra comma. That's why it was giving us an error. Name of the other MCP server. So we don't have another MCP server. Um, yeah, so this fixes it. And this is the ROS MCP server. It's enabled as true. And I think we need to give it the 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 commands of how to start the server as well. So that I can come and find it from here in server.json. That's exactly what it is. I don't need so much data, but I think I have the ROS MCP server installed somewhere on my system. So let me create a new terminal. Let me SSH into the Jetson. Okay, now I'm inside. So if I do ls, yeah, I have the ROS MCP with me, and so you see ROS MCP server is here. What I could just do is, I could just do uv run, but I need to also source the v bin activate, and I believe that's a uv based virtual environment. So I just need to do uv run server.py uh, transport stdio, and this should run the server, hopefully. Let's see. Yeah, it does run it. So this is good. This is all what I need to do. Okay, and so I just need to give the command for this to here. But what I could do is I need the, you can come on the documentation for this. ROS MCP. No. So there's a docs folder. Yeah, here it is. And I could come and do install from source. Yeah. Yeah. So this is the file, right? Um, the issue is that I also need to make sure that it runs it from the virtual environment itself. So there's two commands that are there. So how do I do that? So I can just do deactivate. Yeah, so that deactivates the virtual environment. So can I do both of the tasks together? That's the question that I have. Source.venv bin activate and uv run server.py. Yeah, by default it runs from that only. Yeah, it works. So this one can work. What I just need to do is copy this. Okay, so uv directory. Okay, I can do that. Holy shit. Okay. Command equals to. So there's multiple commands. How do I give multiple commands? Let me ask ChatGPT. So it is this command that I need to use it. How do I add that in the how do I add that in the JSON? JSON C of code. Let me also give it this as well. So it will just give me the final version only. This is okay. Let me also ask this to Grok. Because it's a better model here, right? Like not in terms of absolute, but like I have a better access to model. Like this is the free model that I'm using on OpenAI. Yeah, man, still live, still going. Okay. Uh, all right. Type command. All right. So let's just copy this and let me do one thing. Let me just remove this first. Okay. So now it's out. Let me just fresh start this and paste it here. This should start the server. Yeah. So this should start the server and everything. And oh yeah, so see this, it's like it's not able to resolve this issue and it's just going in loops. So it's gonna do that. Let us stop this. Holy shit, just stop the entire thing. So I just need to do open code. Yeah, so I want to see what MCPs are available. Okay, it failed. Interesting. Why did that happen though? Yeah, it's I'm not able to. Yeah. Okay, type local, what is that? It will obviously fail now because what am I doing here? It's not the path. What is the path of this? Slash VNV. And then UV run also from there. So I'm assuming that it runs from the absolute path. So I'm just giving it that and put it here. Does it work? Yeah. Great. So let's just do WQ. And so if I do MCP again, no, let me just refresh this. So I run open code again. Yeah. MCP. No, it. Okay. Yeah, it connected. So that's good. Oh, ROS MCP server test nodes tools. Let's test this. If you're getting into model APIs, you should try Xylo some days ago. You should try Xylo. Some days ago, they gave me Opus 4.7 for free. That is insane, man. I've never heard of Xylo. I will check that out. So actually, let me just give it a good task here, right? Like, let's just do something interesting. Let me open the VNC of this so that I can see the GUI of that and connect it. Yeah, so this is the GUI of the Jetson. So this is running via VNC server. Let's give it a second for it to come, but it should appear. Why doesn't it appear? Yeah, it's here. So the reason I started this was, dude, this is so slow. Why is it that? Uh my terminal isn't that slow. Like it works pretty well. No, wait, this is also throttling. I lost a connection. Yeah, 1 second. I think I probably lost the connection. See, I can't type anything. The cursor still blinks, but I can't do anything. My assumption is that probably the memory issue again, and that could have like made it shut down. So let me just do a new terminal and try to log in. And it will like it's gonna take like really long, or maybe it's not gonna come only. So let's see. If not, then I have to probably restart it. Man, that's crazy. It's almost 3 hours, man. This is the longest official live stream I ever did. But it was fun. I don't want this to end it here. Like sometimes, sometimes hardware gives up, man. Sometimes you give up, sometimes the hardware gives up, but you still gotta go. Okay, why is it not working? I have no idea. Nope, no response. Operation timed out, huh? You know what I did when it was not working before the stream? I had to like, I mean, one of the things I did was like starting it on and off, and that sort of made it work. But I also connected to my monitor. So I think I think it also sometimes happens that it just works out, like it just reboots itself. So I can still see a light on the board. However, it's not connected. So I don't know, man. Okay. I guess I'll end the stream here, and I'll restart the thing again. I'll also go and have some food. But thanks for joining, guys. If you have anything, maybe I can stick around for some time, and hopefully, if it works out, then we can continue. But yeah, thanks for joining. I see like 4 people joining the stream. That's insane, man. That's so good. If you're here, I mean, I'm really grateful that you took the time to watch the stream, and I hope you learned something. And yeah, not sad, man. It's a part of the thing, right? Like probably there's something that I'm messing up, and probably we'll figure it out. So it's also like a learning experience. I mean, you as a system person, you should think about why did that happen. Like it was undesirable, so we kind of have to figure out why did that happen, and why is it timing out again. So yeah, maybe it could also be that it heated up. I don't know, it's on charge, so it could be like a lot of reasons. But yeah, maybe restarting it should probably like fix it. But yeah, all right. Okay, I think I'll end it here. Thanks for joining, guys. I hope you guys have a nice day, and we'll meet soon again on the live stream.